When I was growing up, there used to be fires all the time, shooting, stabbing. So I mean, like, the everyday life in the inner city, it builds up a tolerance to the dangers. Said, I'm not gonna work at Burger King. I'm just gonna go to the street and I'm just gonna be my own man. That was 14. It's just unexplainable how to deal with a person doing life because they don't care about anything. They have that mentality where they don't care about anything. And I woke up every day and I just said, I'm not gonna be like them. And that's something I had to fight every single day because I was doing life. It's the worst place that you could ever be. They didn't have a problem with trying to take life from an officer or an inmate. They had knives around there like it was a knife factory. It's really a tough place to be. I was a non-violent drug dealer. I kind of try to show people it should be about the money, not about guns and stuff like that. And I used to justify it by saying like that's okay, like, you know, but it doesn't justify when someone's dealing with the trauma after the fact, after they use these drugs. I just did not know that if I get caught, I would lose my life.
What's good, y'all? What's the Numbers TV? It's your boy Parole. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already, and like a video if you appreciate the content that Parole and What's the Numbers I have provided. Today we back with another profile piece. This one is on Charlie Brown. In this video we're going to talk about his upbringing in Rhode Island. Then we'll take a look at the reason behind Charlie choosing to pursue the street life as a teenager. After that, we're going to break down how Charlie Brown ended up with life in the feds before shining light on the steps he had to take to end up having his sentence commuted by President Barack Obama. Charlie Brown, real name Charles C. Brown, is from Providence, Rhode Island. Growing up in a modest house on Bellevue Avenue, Charlie wanted more for himself. By the age of 14, he was already working multiple shifts at Burger King while still attending school. Not really feeling like a Burger King job was going to set his future up the right way, Charlie Brown decided to dive headfirst into the streets and become a drug dealer. As he got older, his business grew more and more. Charlie also kept some legal jobs like selling cars and rehabbing old buildings, which was pretty successful for him. But his main source of income came from the streets. Over the years, he was arrested and convicted twice for dealing marijuana, but once Charlie transferred over to selling crack, life began to change a bit. He always looked at selling drugs from a business standpoint and didn't really engage in the violence that usually accompanies the drug game. Instead, telling those that worked for him to focus on the money and not on guns and girls. Charlie also steered clear of doing any drugs himself or drinking alcohol as a way to stay clear-headed and on point at all times. As the late 90s shifted into the early 2000s, Charlie was running one of the most lucrative crack houses in South Providence. The TrapHouse was fortified to the point that it had surveillance cameras and steel reinforced doors along with a green light that was used as a way to signal the house was open for business. The drugs and money was passed through a slot in the steel door as a way to hide the identity of who was inside selling the drugs. Charlie Brown and his TrapHouse had a good run, but in 2003, things hit the fan when the Providence police arrested him along with two other men for their roles in operating the crack house. All three men were already convicted felons, so the feds ended up picking up the case, which now left Charlie Brown facing life in prison because of his two prior weed convictions. Charlie, feeling backed in a corner, would take the case to trial, where he was convicted and in fact sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole in 2004 at the age of 33, making him the first person in Rhode Island history to receive such a sentence for a drug crime. The amount of crack involved in the case was a little under 6 ounces. From there, Charlie would begin serving his time in the federal prison system at some of the worst USPs in the United States, like Hazleton and West Virginia. Enter the Obama administration in 2009 and their criminal justice reform initiatives and efforts to change mandatory sentencing laws, particularly for nonviolent drug offenses. These efforts by the new president gave Charlie Brown some hope, and in 2014, he reached out to lawyer Judith Crowell about putting together a clemency petition for him. Miss Crowell agreed and did it pro bono for Charlie, free of charge. It was successful, and in May of 2016, at the age of 45, Charlie Brown's sentence was commuted by Barack Obama, and he was released from prison in September of the same year and placed on supervised release for 10 years. Since then, Charlie Brown reunited with his 8 children and grandchildren and has been on the straight and narrow ever since. to not fumble his gift of freedom he received after his previous life without a chance of parole sentence. But yo, it's What's the Numbers TV. This is a quick profile piece on Charlie Brown, real name Charles C. Brown, out of Providence, Rhode Island. You understand, he made it out the belly of the beast. 2 prior weed convictions for selling weed, which isn't looked at as such a crime these days, but you know, it adds to your federal guidelines and what you sentenced to under the federal mandated the requirements. He ended up getting life without parole as a third drug offense back in 2004. But like I said in the video, 2016 he was granted, his sentence was commuted by President Barack Obama. He made it out. He goes down as the first person out of Rhode Island to receive that. Of course, he's a black man, so you can take that for what it's worth. But they say the war on drugs was who was geared more towards. It is what it is. But it goes down in Providence like anywhere else. To a certain extent, just like everywhere else. It is what it is. Drugs, poverty, gangs. It is what it is out there. So shout out to the first video I did out of Providence, Rhode Island. Since he been home, Charlie Brown is focused on doing the right thing. He's trying to set a good precedent for those that might get freed behind him from their harsh sentences. He doesn't want to be the one to mess any of that up. So he's pretty much just, on the straight and narrow. Salute to him. Because at the end of the day, life without parole for drugs is a little crazy. Now, I get the pain and what it inflicts into the hood as far as families being broken up and dealing with the ramifications of drug use for generations after generations, what it could do to a family, what it could do to kids being raised in a household that their parents might be on drugs or something. So I get that part, but we got to do something about help a different way. Maybe throwing everybody in jail for life on nonviolent offenses is a little crazy, but that's the federal law for you. So I just wanted to do this profile piece on Charlie Brown, man. First one out of Providence, Rhode Island. I hope y'all appreciate the content. Parole, I think this is the only one that you're gonna find this story. We love bringing exclusive stories to YouTube. That's what What's the Numbers TV is all about. Now also go follow the Instagram, What's the Numbers TV. Follow Batty Bills on Instagram. Subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to the live streaming clips channel. Any business, Parole, What's the Numbers at yahoo.com. Salute to Keith, the website plug. Via the website, tap in. He got a bunch of different packages. He's gonna hook you up. Let him know Parole sent you. He might give you a discount. You never know. But on that note, we out here, man. On our way to 100K. We 98K strong. Less than 1,500 away. Subscribe. Send it to a friend to subscribe. We trying to hit this milestone. It's big for the channel. And on that note, I'm out of here. Parole, What's the Numbers TV.
I'm Keith, the website plug. And if you need a custom website to build your brand or business, hit us up. We got 4 bundles to choose from. Let's get it. Contact information. Keith, the website plug on Facebook. Keith, the website plug on Instagram. Keith, the website plug.com. And to get super fast response, hit us up at support@Keith, the website plug. That's the email. Let's get a website done, man. Let's get it.